ang spelling ng fully F-U-L-L-Y, hindi F-O-O-L-Y. You're supposed to be fully informed about the possible adverse effects, and yet they don't do that. They always say every day, several times in fact, a day, sa major media, our government officials, sasabihin nila safe and effective. It has been studied well, which is a complete lie. And whenever we try to correct that, we are censored, and they don't even want to discuss with us openly. We have requested the Department of Health officials, including Duque himself. Our group had a face-to-face meeting with him and requested an open dialogue, expressing our concerns. And they did not even, we were not even provided the opportunity to discuss it with the so-called experts. And by the way, the government experts and Department of Health, many of them are actually my friends. Well, I thought they were my friends. And many are actually my former students, since I've been teaching in the University of Manila, College of Medicine, UP Manila for 39 years, but I retired in 2014, so you can guess how long I've been there. And many of the secretaries of health were actually my friends. In fact, the former acting secretary during Ramos' time, President Ramos' time, was my classmate. So I know a lot of people at the Department of Health. So I was really surprised why in the world they were duped by these big pharmaceutical companies who had actually a string of criminal offenses in the past, especially Pfizer. They've been convicted of fraud, of bribery, of manipulating data, and yet they were relying on the company's information material in their approval as emergency use. Wala pang sufficient scientific studies. And the studies they were relying on is only those submitted by the companies which were actually fraudulent. At hindi papasa sa talagang evaluation. Kung estudyante ko yung gumawa ng clinical trial na, ibabagsak ko kasi they didn't follow the scientific procedures in conducting clinical trials sa mga gamot. And yet, this was accepted by the regulatory agencies. And then I also looked into the history of the initial efforts in the appearance of this virus that triggered the production of vaccines. And SARS-CoV-2 virus, in fact, even the SARS-CoV-1, even earlier than that, these viruses were actually products of bioweapons research. And therefore, those who are engaged in this research are actually committing bioterrorism. And these are punishable in international law. Even in the US, it's supposed to be punishable. And it was called gain-of-function research to go around the laws against bioweapons. Because this has been prohibited since World War II, actually, itong bioweapons. And then I looked into the researches done. Initially, it was done in the US as early as 2009, and then 2012, and 2015, there was a Chinese scientist who was invited to the US and participated in the research of the SARS virus. And they actually manipulated the virus from the back collected by these Chinese in China and converted it into a more infectious type, more transmissible type of virus, and with even their own report showed is about to emerge in humans. And yet this was synthetically made in the laboratory. Pero nung in-announce nila yung so-called pandemic, they said it naturally occurred doon sa food market sa Wuhan. Yung virus galing sa bat daw, which was again a complete lie because from the very beginning, synthesize lang ito sa laboratory, initially doon sa US, and then when this bioweapons research was banned in 2015 by President Obama in the US, because there are so many scientists who already complained that this is a very dangerous research. You are creating a potential worldwide pandemic. So it was banned in the US, dinala doon sa Wuhan, China. And guess who funded the research sa Wuhan, China? Mainly the US. Mainly the National Institute of Health of US by Fauci, the guru of infectious disease in the world, hindi lang sa US, because he was the one directing pandemic response policies in the US, in the WHO, and everywhere in the world, actually. I'm sure you know this Anthony Fauci, very famous scientist. He was the one who actually funded and manipulated all these bioweapons research. Of course, sino ang behind him? Those with a lot of money and those who are very powerful. So, in fact, the contracts in the production of vaccines was actually provided for by the Department of Defense of the US. Kaya instrumento lang yung mga drug companies. That's why when the drug companies were sued in Europe by a lot of people, ang defense nila, hindi, sumusunod lang kami sa upon the instructions of the Department of Defense of the US, which was true because they were under contract to manufacture these vaccines from the Department of Defense. And who knows about this? The mainstream media did not even carry about this news. And this is very important because we always, of course, the big pharmaceutical companies are guilty from the very beginning also. But in fact, there's a deeper conspiracy behind this because the Department of Defense was in fact manipulating all these pandemic responses. And of course, the WHO is complicit because they were the ones who declared the pandemic, which in fact it should not be a pandemic because the initial reports of deaths were also manufactured, even from China. They hyped it. And in fact, they announced this kind of response from the very beginning in 2015 when there was a world conference on medical countermeasures to address pandemics sponsored by the WHO, Bill Gates Foundation, Johns Hopkins University, and many other institutions, including the Department of Defense, and even CIA was involved in that meeting. What the heck is the CIA doing in a public health conference? So you can see all this. That's why from the very beginning I already knew this was a global conspiracy. But every time I mention it, I'm called a conspiracy theorist. Of course it is a theory, but theories are also scientific, especially when there are facts to prove it. And I think there is sufficient facts to prove that this is really an egregious conspiracy. It's not just a simple unsupported theory. In fact, this is really very serious. And this is a big crime against humanity. So, that's why I was very happy when Dr. Bulacer, I didn't even know Dr. Bulacer from the very beginning, although I knew a certain very prominent Mr. Bulacer in Mindanao. So I'm sure you are relatives like me. I have a lot of relatives in Cebu because the brother of my grandfather on my father's side was a bishop of the Philippine Independence Day Church who stayed in Cebu for a long time, and he had 16 children, I think. And all of them became Visayans. And two of the siblings became very popular. DR.QUIJANO, the daughter, became the first internationally recognized Visayan poet, and you can research that. And her brother became the governor of Misamis Occidental,